before we get started today, I want to take a second and talk to you about the absolute most badass, useful shop truck that you were ever going to see on this planet. This is my 1965 GMC 2500, and if you click the link in the description down below, if you are not too late, this truck could be yours. Small block Chevy, Holley Sniper EFI, method wheels, 33-inch tires, custom interior, radio, upgraded brakes, absolutely everything that you would ever need a shop truck to do, and it's a 1965. This thing breaks necks, gets thumbs up, gets all of the attention everywhere I go. Every time I go to the hardware store, every time I am out working with this thing. We had a hurricane just last week, and this thing was the neighborhood workhorse. I had a down tree over here that we loaded up in the back of the truck. My neighbors utilized it so that way they could put some of their stuff in it. We have one pile at the front of the neighborhood, so that way the city can just come and grab all of the debris. So when this truck is gone, when it ends up in your driveway, I'm gonna be sad and my neighbors are gonna be sad, but don't worry about us. Take advantage of being able to win this truck while you still can. Check the link down below, all of the information is there, and let's just take a second to check out some rollers. And if you had any questions about this thing, do not hesitate to let me know, and do not hesitate to enter, because if you don't enter now, man, it's gonna be too late. So what is up, and welcome, and thank you so much for joining me yet again on another video. So what we got going on is I have one more piece left over that I need to paint that Honda Championship white. We have to sand down the entire fresh paint job with a 600 grit finish, and also I lay down and paint the most complex paint job that I have ever done. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, so really quickly, I wanted to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Gentle Bands. This is an awesome partnership for my channel, and I've got some really exciting news. 2 of my lucky viewers will get a band of their own, and it is super easy to enter. More on that in just a bit. So Gentle Bands is a company that offers stylish rings for men, and just like me, they strive for perfection in everything they do, and their products really speak for themselves. Check out this packaging, man. The ring that I have today, this is called the Hydra. This is featuring tungsten as well as 18 karat rose gold. I love the unique pattern of this guy, and also rose gold as an added bonus. That is my daughter's absolute favorite color when it comes to jewelry. So this one is special for me. And also, to go with the band itself, I have also decided to pair this stainless steel box chain, which complements the band so nicely. Everything looks real good. Throw the box chain on. Also too, I can throw the band on the chain if I'm working in the shop and I want to free up my hands. So just like this, that, pretty self-explanatory, man. Pretty easy stuff. So a moment ago, I mentioned my daughter's love for rose gold. You've seen her working with me in the shop all the time. That is why we are theming this giveaway around fatherhood, specifically making memories both past and present. And here's how the band giveaway will work. I want you to go ahead and leave a comment down below. You have to put the keyword at the very beginning, reimagined ring, and then tell me your favorite story, whether it's you and your father or you as a father and your child, of you guys working in the shop. It could be your favorite project or just something funny. Did your father make you hold the light for him while he was super frustrated and working, and all he wanted you to do was hold the light straight and you accidentally pointed it in his eyes? That's a memory that I have with me and my father, just having really good times, and I'm currently making new memories with my daughter in the shop as we speak. So 2 of those comments with those stories and those keywords, you must include the keywords, will be chosen to win a band of their own. And also, if you are one of the lucky 2 winners, you can choose any ring that you like from the website. I have a few of them because I could not just pick one. If you do not wish to enter the giveaway, I have an exclusive 25% off discount code for you. That code is BodeVision. Click the link down below. Let's go ahead and get back to the shop, and I look forward to reading all of your comments. Thanks, guys. So with this paint job, for the longest time, I was dead set on one paint job. I was really loving the old GM Desert Fox colors, where we have a gradient of colors coming across the hood, hard line, 90 degrees running to the back. I thought that looked really nice, but then I was second guessing if I want to do something that's so iconic to a Chevy truck on an El Camino, and it makes sense because they're both from around the same time period, but would the body work out? And I don't really... The more I thought about it, the more I wasn't in love with it, but I do love those colors. Now, this El Camino is originally an El Camino Conquista, so it did have a different color between this body line and that body line. So my thought process is, let me take 2 things that I really like. I like how the original paint job was with this. I also like the colors of the Desert Fox, going with a yellow, orange, red, burgundy, and then darker burgundy, so that we have light to dark and that same color palette. So what I'm going to do right now, we have the entire car masked off for everything that is going to get re-cleared, but now I need to do another step in the masking. So I'm going to mask off everything above this body line and everything below this body line. By the time I'm done with all of my colors and I pull off this next layer that's not on there yet, the entire car will be ready for clear, minus the hood. The hood isn't getting touched. The hood is ready to go. The hood already turned out really smooth. I'm not going to be flow coating the hood. So my next thing I need to do is we need to establish my upper line edge and my lower line edge, and then we will get into the specifics of the stripes. I'm going to have 6 lines, 5 stripes. So that's the top line, that's the bottom of the first line, bottom of the second line, bottom of the third line, bottom of the fourth line, and bottom of the 5th line, making 6 tape lines for 5 stripes. So as I am doing this paint job with my 5 different stripes, 5 different colors from lighter to darker, lightest up top, darkest at the bottom, I have to think about a couple of factors, and one of those is, how thick do I want these stripes? Do I want them all the same? Do I want them progressively getting larger from top to bottom? Also, do I want light on the top going to dark, or dark on the top going to light? So what I'm going to do, lighter on top, smallest at the top, largest at the bottom, with a very small difference from one to another, but I'll get into those a little bit further down the line when I get there. Let me grab a rag real quick. And also, since this vehicle does not have 100% parallel lines because the shape just isn't that way, so I need to figure out my scheme and then just do it in one area, and then it is not going to necessarily be that scheme all the way throughout. We're just gonna kind of let the tape run wild and see what happens. Once we get this side perfectly dialed, we can then just carbon copy it on the other. So the first 2 pieces that I'm going to do seem to be the easiest. I'm going to do the top piece and then the bottom piece. So where this tape goes, there will be color below it. And then the bottom one, where that tape goes, there will be color above it. So let's see here. I will just start at this door. And I'm kind of just gonna be, you know, laying down the tape, taking a step back, taking a look to see if I like it, stamp and repeat. So let's just get this laid down. I want this to be on the very top part of that upper edge. Did I say top part or top part? I want this to be on the very top part of the upper edge because I want yellow to get to the very bottom of that body line. So this needs to be above that body line. But right here, we have it jog up a little bit because that's what the body does. So we can just manipulate the tape a little bit, let it ride up that line and keep this thing moving. I'm feeling like Bob Ross running out these lines, man. Happy trees, happy lines, Bob Ross in the building. And I think one of the cool things of doing a paint job like this by hand is the fact that it's not going to be machine perfect, but that's okay because it's done by a person. I'm not machine perfect. Nobody is. We're just gonna try to get it as good as we can. Can you tell I'm focusing by how low I'm talking? We're just gonna try to get it as good as we can and have fun with it. So I'm gonna get this top knocked out all the way. Then I'm going to move to the bottom, get that set up. Then we will figure out this curve, bring it to the tailgate, bring it to the other side, so on and so forth. Bob Ross style. Another thing that's super important is to make sure that you don't put fine line tape or really any tape for that matter. You don't want to put that down in some dirt because that dirt will stick to the edges. So we have this nice swoop up. That'll be reflective in my top color, which is going to be the yellow. So when I actually go to start to do my layout, since this is the fattest portion of the yellow, I'm going to make a mark there. It's going to get a little bit wider, the widest at the bottom. But as we come this way, the yellow is going to get more narrow because I want these lines to flatten out. I don't want this line to take shape all the way throughout every one of my stripes because then it's going to have nowhere to go at the bottom. So we are just going to get rid of that by doing this one, flat line, running all the way to the front. So let me finish out the top, finish out the bottom, and then we will get into the layout of every individual stripe. Decent little process, takes some time, so I'm going to throw it on time lapse so we can get through it. As you can see, we got the layout pretty much done. Well, the layout is done. I went ahead and I went along these body lines, kind of arching out the fenders. I think that's something that looks pretty cool. One thing that we were thinking was to arch out the flare itself, but then this area gets kind of weird, and it's kind of all pick and choosing where and what you want to do. So some of my thought process on how I got it to be the exact point that it is now, and there's a couple weird things that you can nitpick about it, like this yellow line is going to be narrow, but we had to account for this jog up right here. So I just thought to myself, this is going to be the absolute widest area, and this right here is 18 inches. So if I kept it from there to there exactly even on 18 inches, that would be 3.6 inches for 5 of them. So 3.6, 3.6, so on and so forth till we get a total of 18. But I didn't feel like I necessarily wanted to do them exactly even. So what I thought was, maybe it'd be kind of cool if the bottom one was 1 inch larger than the top one. And after doing some math, I realized if I just increased it by 7% each time, that would give us roughly a 1 inch difference at the end. So this gap right here, I wrote all of this stuff down. 3.13 inches, the next one 3.35 inches, the next one is 3.58, the next one is 3.83, and the next one is 4.1. So we started with a 3.1, finished with a 4.1, giving us that difference that I was going for. So that is completely true right here. It also stands true on the door besides this section, but that's okay. We just kind of had to figure some stuff out. And then as I was going to the back over here, we had to make some changes because as the body kind of comes down, this workable area is a lesser distance than this workable area because they're both kind of like pointing towards each other. So I did the same spacing here, same spacing there, same spacing there, and then over here I realized that I needed to just kind of split the difference. So the widest one is in the middle with this one and this one and this one. So it all kind of works. There's no perfect way to do it because it's not a perfect shaped vehicle that we're working with over here. You all right, Ava?
Can I put Lola inside?
Inside? Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Okay, give her some water, thank you. So since it's not a perfect workable area, we kind of got to make some changes. The bottom isn't going to be as large because this is smaller than the tailgate. The tailgate goes to about here, but all in all, I think this is a really cool look, and I think it is going to work out quite nicely. One other thing that I was kind of racking my brain about over here is the fender. This kind of shoots down towards the headlights. So if I were to keep this flat, it would disappear right above the wheel, but I didn't want yellow to go away, so I kind of had this one arched down a little bit and then just free-handed this one to arch down. This one kind of remained straight, and then this one remained straight as well. So super small, a little larger, larger, and the largest. So it's all kind of like, I've just been winging it and seeing what works, and then it was easy to transfer it from one side to the other because then I could just make reference points and kind of do a carbon copy on the other side of the car. Also, little things, I saw this line goes right to the top of this fender arch. It does the same on the other side. Also in the back, we have it kind of jogging out which we are making straight lines on a curved shape, which makes it look a little bit weird. If you look at it from this way, it looks off. If you look at it from straight on, it looks straight. So just picking and choosing what to do was the most challenging part. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to isolate all of my layers. I'm obviously not going to be doing any paint up here, but all clear is going to go up there. So I need to isolate this workable area, then I need to isolate one layer at a time. It's going to take a little bit of work, but that's just part of the process. Having fun, doing custom stuff exactly how I want to do it. Okay, let's get into isolating that workable area. Now that I have 8+ hours into masking, and that's not an exaggeration, I spent a little bit of the day Monday, all of the day Tuesday, here it is Wednesday as I'm working on this, so I have all of the colors and all of the stripes completely isolated, but now I need to isolate them individually. I think what I'm going to do is just start working from the top, working my way down. Is that the right way to do it or wrong way to do it? I don't think there is a right way or wrong way to do it. It's just about figuring out how I want to do it. So I'm just going to take this masking paper, probably start from the bottom and just do overlays and kind of tack them together. It's not going to be the worst thing ever if overspray gets into an area that I have yet to paint. After I paint one of the stripes, I definitely want to mask that one off. So it's going to be isolating them one by one and then covering up the fresh paint as I move down. This is a long process, but I think in the end, we're going to have a result that is really cool. Definitely something different than I've ever done before. I'm no fine line specialist, but I'm giving it my best shot. So no reason to take forever and take up a whole bunch of your time. Let's just throw it on another time lapse while I get this side isolated. Then I'm going to do the other side, and we're going to mix up the yellow. When I'm done spraying the yellow, I got more taping to do. I think I'm going to be taping all day long, but that's okay, man. We're just having a good time hanging out. So I just tried to outsmart the system and outsmart myself, and I actually think I outdumbed myself. So on this side, we have every single individual layer kind of isolated so that way I can peel one back, but then I'm going to have to mask the upper layer that I just did. So we got yellow, I'm going to paint that, then that's going to have to be masked, and then we're going to peel the next one. The bottom border is already ready, but this side took 3 hours for me to do. Now I know it doesn't seem like that because you just saw it in a time lapse, but it takes a long time, especially by myself. It probably would have took a lot less time if I had a second set of hands, but we have the back done also. And I thought to myself, if I want to get this thing done in any reasonable amount of time, I don't want to do the same thing on the driver's side. So on this side, all I did was run one piece of plastic. This side took 30 seconds, the other side took 3 hours. If I have to redo it every single time and use a whole bunch of plastic, how much does plastic cost? Not that much, not as much as the time that I spent on the other side. So we're kind of learning as we go, showing you guys that I don't always have all the answers. If you were to do this, I'll let you know when it's finished. So I got one more wipe down. Let's get started. Let me actually put the paint on the desk so that way you can see what I'm going for. All right, so starting with the top down, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Darkest at the bottom, we have yellow, orange, red, maroon, and then darker maroon. This actually still has a little bit of a red hue in it. It looks kind of black, but either way, I think that is going to look really solid. Now, another thing that I think is pretty neat with this is Y56, which is the same exact paint code from Integra Type Rs and Civic Type Rs. This is also a Honda red. The orange is just something that I liked in between. The darker red was just from the color book. And the darkest maroon is also from the color book. So I do have a couple Honda colors in here just to kind of pay homage to what this was. I think that's kind of cool. If you know, you know. If not, you don't. So we have number 1. I have 5 pints of paint. These pints reduce at 1 to 1. So every one of these pints turns into a quart. So 5 quarts of paint is more than a gallon. 4 quarts in a gallon. So I'm going to have plenty of paint to do this entire thing. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't even use half of a container on each color. Yellow is going to be the smallest amount. The one at the bottom is going to be the largest amount. So let's go ahead and get the yellow mixed up, and then more taping. Dude, the amount of taping that I've done in the last 3 days, insane, because this car has already been fully painted. That requires a lot of taping, masking. Then I'm masking it for clear. Now I'm masking it again for the colors. So it's been a process, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. So we got the yellow laid down, looking super solid. The next layer is going to be orange. If I mix up these layers, it's going to be pretty bad, but I think I'll be okay. I labeled them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that way I know I am good to go. Now, one thing that I'm thinking, kind of reporting back to you, plastic on the other side, all of this little paper on this side. 10 out of 10 would recommend plastic, don't recommend paper. I thought I was outsmarting myself, but really, I got played because you do piece by piece. The plastic, you can run out one whole piece of plastic, it'll stick to the car on its own, then you do the tape line. This paper, like I said, I thought I was helping myself out, but I was not. So the next color we have mixed up is orange, then we are going red, burgundy, and dark burgundy. So let's get this knocked out, then I'm gonna grab lunch, then we will get into the next colors that I need to pay attention to which colors I'm doing. All right, let's go. I'm going to be seeing tape in my dreams tonight, man. Tape crazy. So we got 3 done already. Yellow, orange, red. Now we still have burgundy, maroon, red, darkest red. And then we will be pretty much done. So the cool thing is the next time we are already masked off completely at the bottom with our different layer, because that's the very end of this isolated area that we are working in. So all I gotta do is do number 4, pull that tape, mask off up above for number 4, that'll expose number 5, then lay on number 5, then we will be good to go. Once we get this all done, we're going to take off everything besides the windows, and then we're going to re-clear the entire thing. Now with doing something like this, will I get bleed through in some areas that I didn't want to? I'm pretty sure I will, but with painting and the way that we did this, where we are working on top of clear coat, we can always go back. I can touch up some stuff with the airbrush if I need to. I can even dial this down to be really nice and tight and small if we have to do a little bit of touch up, which I think we probably will. If I get a dark color on a lighter color, we'll have to go back with that lighter color and just kind of touch it up. We're getting some, like I had this little troublesome area right here where I have a little red dot, but that is no big deal because darker is going to go on top of that. So I'm not worried about that at all. Woo! This is definitely the most complex paint job I've ever done. I underestimated the amount of time that it would take to do all of these layers, but having to cover up the car 99.9%, then having to cover it up between 95% and 90%, and then between 90% and 85%, I mean, you get what I'm saying. It is a lot of masking. No reason to slow down. Let's just go ahead and get this knocked out. And then what I cannot wait for is to pull back all the colors and see the nice gradient of shades. So right now we have color number 5. I don't know if I mentioned it. I have been taping. It'd be neat to figure out how many miles of tape I put down, but you guys don't want to just hear me complain about stuff. So this is what we got so far. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, hold on. That looks a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we are going with a even darker with number 5, which is nearly black, but it still has a little bit of purpley red in it. So after this layer, we're going to pull everything off and get a good look at this thing. Hopefully I didn't get much bleed out on the upper layers because we don't want dark landing on light. I think I just mentioned that the last time I talked to you. So let me not repeat myself a whole bunch of times. So let's get this going. I just did my wax and grease remover as my little precautionary wipe down. Let's spray this thing down, dude. I'm sick of taping. Bro, you see how retro, fabulous, El Chapo, Honda-Mino, Shavonda, the Oh She Does It, retro mullet. Man, this thing is looking so crazy good. As you can see, you can kind of get an idea of what she's looking like. We need to still pull off all of the fine line tape. So what I'm going to do is just take razor blade, dental pick, start nice and easy. Maybe start from the front and work my way to the back and get all this fine line off of there nice and carefully. Keep in mind, this is all going to get clear coated, but I want it to get clear coated together so that way it's all kind of so that way it's all encapsulated in clear coat. That's just how it goes. Just to give a little brief overview of the just to give a little brief summary of the paint job thus far. We have Honda Championship White, then we have clear coat. The clear coat was sanded down. Now we are doing all of the stripes featuring a couple Honda colors. Now that the stripes are done in base, then we are going to re-clear the entire thing. So it's really going to be white, clear coat, colors, clear coat, all kind of layered out. And that's how these projects go. So let's go ahead and get this fine line off here, and then we can really take a look. Super excited for this. Bro, are you kidding me, dude? How good, how sick, how crazy, how nice, how cool, how awesome does this thing look, man? I was second guessing some of these things as I was laying out these lines, like should it kind of swoop towards the back? I mean, the entire body kind of comes out a little bit. It's not perfectly flat, so laying a straight line on a not flat surface is a little bit difficult, but this right here is the base coat stage. Just wait until the clear coat goes on top of it. So what I had to do and wanted to do was pull the car out so that way we could just, me and you, come on, we could just kind of sit right here and take it in and evaluate if we like it. One thing is that bottom kind of looks like it's black. Now it's that really dark purple plum red-ish color, and even below that I'm going to go with flat black bumpers because the front I sectioned it, making it more narrow so we don't have the option to go chrome. I think black will look really good. We're going to do black trim around here as well, black trim around the window, so there's going to be a lot more black added to this. And dude, with this thing I took a shot in the dark and I want to know what you think about it. So just to give you a little bit of a background of what we got going on, today is Thursday Actually, Thursday and Friday, I was scheduled to have my buddy Peter from HTP Welders was gonna come over and teach me TIG. I've had a TIG machine for quite a while now. He was gonna give me a crash course on it because we knew he was gonna be in town, so I'm really excited for that. I had to push that back a day because we only got so far with it. Now it's getting a little bit cool. And also, as he's here, we're going to need the shop. So what I'm thinking is, I'm just gonna hold off on clear for now, do what I gotta do with HTP Welders because I love those guys, I love those machines over there. So I wanna make sure I have ample room for us. So the car, at this point, it's okay to stay just like this. I don't wanna clear it now and then 12 hours later have it sitting in the sun with pine needles falling on it and potentially risk it bubbling up because, dude, the sun is hot. You shouldn't really bring a car out to the sun. Even though people bake cars after you paint them, that is a controlled heat. The sun on the surface can get way too hot, causing issues, so we're just going to leave this for now. If you wanna see this thing cleared, you're gonna have to subscribe and wait for that next upload. So all in all, for the Honda body swapped El Camino, 10 out of 10, super happy with the paint job. The clear coat is the easy part. So if you could, check out the links down below. You could still win my 1965 shop truck. Check out Gentle Bands, leave a comment, like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. This thing looks good, man. I'm out.